Okay. Good morning, students. In this class, we'll be studying about post-fertilization events. Okay. In the previous class, we have studied about the fertilization, where the male gamete will come and reach the ovule, where it releases two male gametes, and one will fuse with the eggshell, and the other will fuse with the polar nuclei. Okay. So now, whatever the developments which take place after fertilization, those things we will be studying under this heading, post fertilization events. So mainly there are four fertilization events which will take place after. Mainly there are four post fertilization events will take place. First one is development of embryo, development of endosperm. Second one is development of embryo, and third is development of seed of ovule to produce seeds, and the fourth one is development of ovary to produce fruit. Okay. So these are the main four events which take place after fertilization. So these are called as post fertilization events. The first one is development of endosperm, and the second one is development of embryo, and third one is development of ovule into seed, and the development of ovary to produce fruit. So these are the main four events which take place after fertilization. So let us try to understand how, in which part endosperm will be produced, what part is embryo, and how the seed is development, how the seed development will take place, as well as the fruit. So that thing we will try to understand with the help of the structure of the ovule. First we will try to understand the structure of ovule one more time. We have already studied this in the previous class. The simply same diagram I am drawing here. Okay. So first I am trying to write the structure of ovary. Okay. Here will be the ovary, and the above part style, and further above part it will be I have not drawn stigma as well as style. So this is the style portion, beginning of style portion, and above this stigma will be there. Below this is the ovary part which I have drawn here. So this is the ovary part which I have drawn. Inside the ovary you will find ovules. Okay. Now let us draw the structure of ovule. Say for example, this is the ovary. From this arises a follicle, and from here I am going to draw the structure of ovule. Okay, so this is the structure of ovule. So this is mainly, I will just write the parts. The outermost part is nothing but ovary. Okay, so between ovule and ovary a gap is there. That gap is nothing but locule. Okay, and completely inside portion, whatever is this image is of ovule. This is the structure of ovule. So this portion is ovule. Okay. So inside the ovary there are different parts. Okay. This is the innermost part which is known as embryo sac. And these are inner and outer integuments. And and this portion is nucellus. Nucellus. So these are various parts, and this is micropyle end, micropyle, and this is chalazal end. Chalazal. Okay, this is a structure which you have already studied. Okay, so now we will try to understand which part of this will become the endosperm and which part of this will become the embryo, ovule, and ovary, or the seed or fruit. What part we will try to understand through this image. Okay, so generally fertilization takes place inside the embryo sac, right? So inside the embryo sac there will be, on the micropyle end, generally 3 cells will be there, or egg apparatus will be there on the micropyle end. Just simply write here. I'll simply write here on the micropylar end egg apparatus will be there. Egg apparatus consisting of 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. Right, you can remember, right? So what happens after fertilization? One more thing I will draw. On this side egg apparatus will be there. On this side there are more 3 cells. Again 3 cells will be there. These are known as chalaza, or these are known as antipodal cells. On the chalazal end, and you will be having 3 antipodal cells, right? 3 antipodal cells. Okay, so once the fertilization takes place, or once the fertilization takes place, generally what happens, the anther or the pollen grain will come in contact with the micropyle. It will enter through the micropyle. From the micropyle it will reach the synergids. Through the synergids it will reach the egg shell, right? So in the synergids it will release 2 male gametes. One will fuse with the zygote, or one will fuse with the egg shell, which will become, say for example, I am going to draw the egg shell here. One will fuse with the egg shell. This is the egg shell. Egg cell. One will fuse with the egg shell, and the other will fuse with the polar nuclei, right? This is polar nuclei. Polar. Okay, this is double fertilization. The one male gamete will fuse with the egg shell, which is nothing but syngamy, and the other will fuse with a diploid polar nuclei, making it triploid, right? So that is triple fusion. So this is a process of double fertilization, right? So after this, what happens? On the micropyle region there are 2 synergids, and on the chalazal end there are 3 antipodal cells. So these 2 will degenerate. Okay? Degenerate. Okay, these 2 synergids as well as antipodal cells, they degenerate. Okay, their function is over. After fertilization, their function is to nourish the developing embryo, right? So what happens after fertilization? The synergids as well as antipodal cells, they degenerate or udrihogbirtave, mugitare kelsa. Then the egg cell, after fertilization, it will form a zygote. Okay, this zygote will lead to the formation of embryo. Got it? So zygote means this portion. This portion, this egg shell will be there or not? So this portion, it will develop as embryo. I will just remove the egg shell. Now I will write it as embryo. It will develop as embryo, and the large central cell. Okay, after a triple fusion, it will be converted to PEN, right? So this polar nuclei after fertilization becomes PEN, or primary endosperm nucleus. Okay, and the large central cell which is having PEN, primary endosperm nucleus, will be called as primary endosperm cell, right? So this primary endosperm cell will develop as endosperm. Will develop as endosperm. Okay. So that means we have seen two main portions. Here the endosperm. Endosperm is nothing but primary endosperm cell. Okay. And the second, development of embryo. Embryo is nothing but the zygote which is formed after syngamy. Okay, that will become as embryo. We are here after fertilization, these two will develop. Embryo will develop and the endosperm will develop. And the remaining two portions, development of ovule. Here the complete ovule will be there. This ovule will become seed. Ovule will become seed. And this whole thing, ovary will become fruit. Ovary will become fruit. So these are the main four developments which take place after fertilization. Okay. So what are those? First one is embryo here, and the second one is endosperm. Third one is ovule, seed, and the fourth one is ovary. So these parts will develop. Okay, it will lead to the formation of fruit, seed, and the parts of the seed. Parts of the seed means embryo and endosperm. So those things we will try to study. Okay. So first I will take up the development of embryo. Development of endosperm. This portion, PEC. Okay. So that means this portion, the large central cell, is nothing but endosperm. That is primary endosperm cell. That we will take up first. Okay. Development of endosperm. So development of endosperm generally begins with primary endosperm cell, PEC. So it generally, the primary endosperm cell, this portion will divide mitotically. This undergoes mitotic division. Okay. So mitotic division means here inside the PEC or primary endosperm cell there will be PEN, primary endosperm nucleus will be there, right? So this will divide mitotically, forming many number of nuclei. Okay. So these are all triploid because the whole cell of PEC is triploid, nothing but 3n condition. Or I will simply write triploid. I will just simply write 3n to mention it as triploid condition, right? So here the primary endosperm nucleus will divide mitotically, giving rise to many number of nuclei. Here the nuclear division will not be followed by cell wall formation. Only nuclei will develop. Okay. So this kind of development is known as free nuclear development. Free nuclear development. Or I will simply write, as the endosperm is developing, I will simply write free nuclear endosperm. Okay. So initially what happens? PEN, primary endosperm nucleus, divides mitotically, giving rise to n number of nuclei. Okay. So these nuclei formation is not followed by cell wall formation. So this kind of division is called as free nuclear division. Okay. So now I will simply write free nuclear endosperm. Initially free nuclear endosperm will be formed. This is one portion I will write, or simply first one. The second portion, what happens? After several number of divisions, after n number of nuclei are formed, then what happens? Then the nuclear division will be followed by the cell formation. Okay. So now after several divisions, after many number of nuclei formed already, now what happens? The further divisions, as the nuclei will be doubling, right? So those doublings will be followed by cell wall divisions or cell wall formation. Those kind of nuclei are formed at cellular endosperm. I will simply write cellular endosperm. Okay, so initially what happens? Only nuclei will be doubling. So that kind of doubling is formed in endosperm. That endosperm, what we will call? It is called free endosperm, free nuclear endosperm. Okay, after several number of divisions, what happens? The cell wall formation will take place. So those kind of division is known as, those kind of endosperm is known as cellular endosperm. Generally, two kinds of endosperm will be formed. One is free nuclear endosperm and the second one is cellular endosperm. I will try to give you an example for this. Here, I will take an example of coconut. Take an example of coconut. The liquid portion, the water portion which we drink, right? Coconut water, we all like coconut water, right? So whatever the liquid portion, the water contains, water is nothing but coconut water is nothing but free nuclear endosperm. Or liquid endosperm, you simply write liquid endosperm. Liquid endosperm, right? And the white edible part of coconut, white edible part of coconut, white edible part of coconut is also known as kernel. So this is example of cellular endosperm. See, cellular endosperm. Okay. The liquid edible, liquid drinking portion, water, liquid water is nothing but liquid endosperm or free nuclear endosperm, and the white edible portion is known as cellular endosperm. Okay. So now generally I will write one more point over here. I will simply write here. I will make a portion here. Okay. In several fruits, generally what happens is this endosperm is completely utilized. In several fruits, endosperm is completely utilized. Before completely utilized during seed formation. For example, pea, botanical, groundnut, and one more example is there, beans. Okay, so in this kind of seeds, the endosperm is completely utilized. Okay, and in few fruits like in few plants like coconut and castor. Write one more example here, castor. Coconut and castor, this endosperm will remain even after seed maturation. Okay, even after seed formation or seed maturation or seed formation, even after seed formation, the endosperm will remain inside it. Okay, so those kind of examples are castor and coconut. So this is about development of the embryo. In the next portion we will try to understand the development of embryo. Okay, now we are going to try to understand the process of development of embryo. Okay, so embryo is formed from zygote or eggshell. Cell will be there. After fertilization, eggshell will become zygote. Right. So this zygote will lead to the formation of embryo. Okay. So now we are trying to understand the development of embryo. Generally what happens is the embryo is situated at the micropylar end, because egg cell will be in the micropylar end, so the embryo is also situated at the micropylar end. Okay. So then what happens? The development of embryo depends on the development of endosperm. Okay. It depends. Embryo development depends on endosperm, I will depends on endosperm. That means for development of embryo it needs food, right? It needs nutrition. So that nutrition is provided by endosperm. Okay. First what happens, as soon as fertilization takes place, first endosperm will develop. Okay, endosperm will develop, and later on, after development of endosperm, means not completely, a little, initially endosperm will develop. Initially development of embryo begins first. Okay, once it starts developing, after that only the embryo will develop, because the endosperm nourishes or gives the nourishment. Okay, nourishes the embryo. Okay, so because it needs food, that food is prepared first, later on the development of embryo. So only it is dependent on the development of endosperm. Then after the development begins, or the early stages of this embryo development of embryo, or simply write the early stages of embryo, development is same in both monocotyledons and dicotyledons or dicot plants. Okay, so the embryo will lead to the formation of cotyledons or monocotyledons or dicotyledons seed. Okay, seed means there are two types of seeds, right? Monocotyledon seeds and dicot seeds. Okay, so this embryo will lead to the formation of monocotyledonous seeds as well as dicotyledonous seeds. So early stages of embryo in monocots as well as in dicots, they both are same. Okay, you can all differentiate the early stages of embryo development is same in both monocotyledons as well as dicotyledons. Okay, so early stages of development include the zygote gives rise to pre-embryo or what we will call pre-embryo and mature embryo. That means the early stages where the zygote is converted to pre-embryo and mature embryo. So it remains same in monocots as well as in dicots. Okay. So then a small difference is there in dicots. In dicotyledonous plants, in dicots, the embryo will be will be heart or globular shape. Okay, so it will lead to the formation in dicots. The embryo will be heart shaped or globular shaped. Let us draw the diagrams of this both monocotyledonous as well as dicot plants. Okay, quickly recall this. Development of embryo starts from the zygote. Okay, zygote where zygote is occurring or where zygote is taking place inside the eggshell. Okay, once eggshell receives the male gamete, that it will lead to the formation of zygote. So that zygote will further develop into embryo, right? Then the embryo is situated at the micropylar end, and embryo development mainly depends on endosperm because it needs food, right? So the embryo will take food from the endosperm. Then the endosperm, that's the same thing, endosperm nourishes the embryo. Then early stages of embryo development remains same in monocots as well as in dicot. Okay, and so early stages, what are those early stages of development? The early stages of development are formation of pre-embryo and mature embryo. Okay, so then the shape of this embryo is heart shaped or globular shaped in dicots. Okay, now we will try to understand the diagram of these monocots as well as dicot embryo. I will try to draw. First I will draw the diagram, then I will try to explain. Okay. In dicot and in monocot, comparatively we will be studying here in monocot. Okay. So in dicot, the diagram will be having two plumbules will be there, one plumule and this is the another plumule. Okay, and which are attached to a stalk. Let's simply like this. Okay, I will just try to tell you the different parts. So these two are cotyledons, or which are present at the epicotyle region, or the region where cotyledons, these 1 and 2, these arise. This region is known as epicotyle region. Epicotyle region, or simply write epicotyle. And the large central cylindrical shaped rod shaped cylindrical shaped structure is there, no, that is hypocotyle. Okay, so the where to both cotyledons starts, this one will become one cotyledon, then this one will become another cotyledon. So these two are attached at the region of plumule. So the region is called plumule. Then at the end of hypocotyle region you will find radicle. Okay, just radicle is present, or it is covered by radical cap or root cap. This portion is root cap. Okay, so this is in case of dicot plant. Here the dicot plant consists of two cotyledons, dicot seed. Okay, dicot seed consists of two cotyledons, 1 and 2 cotyledons, which are attached to a region which is known as plumule. Okay, and the region where these two cotyledons are present, this region is known as epicotyle. Got it? So, and the large cylindrical structure which is attached to the other part of the clavicule is known as hypocotyle region. In the hypocotyle region, you will find at the end of hypocotyle region you will find radicle and root cap. This is the structure of dicot seed. Okay, so I will simply write some points. So this portion, complete portion, is called embryonic axis of embryo or embryonal axis. That simply you will write here. I will simply write some points. Embryonal axis, the portion of cotyledon above embryonal axis is known as epicotyle. Okay, from which cotyledons arise. Okay, so then the second point here is the cylindrical portion the cylindrical portion is known as hypocotyle region. Okay, so this hypocotyle region is having radicle. It contains radicle. A lower part of the hypocotyle, I will simply write here lower part. So this part will be studied later. Lower part of hypocotyle is having radicle. Lower part of hypocotyle will be having radicle, and this radicle is covered with the help of root cap. Okay, so this is the structure of dicot seed. Okay, so now we are going to understand the structure of monocot. Here in this portion, now we are going to understand this portion. Monocot structure I am going to draw. So here the structure will be like this. Okay, so this is the structure of monocot seed. Here, this part is known as scutellum. So this is cotyledon part. This is known as scutellum. Then this portion. So this portion is known as coleoptile. Coleoptile. And this portion is known as shoot apex. And On this region we will be having three structures. One is radical and root cap, and the other is colorizer. Okay, so these are the different portions of monocot seed. These coloctile as well as shoot apex they together they constitute epicotyle region. Epicotyle. Okay, now I am going to write some points of this. I will simply write over here. So monocot seeds will be having one cotyledon, will have one cotyledon, then generally the example for this is grass. These are the plants which belong to grass family. Okay, the monocot seeds are generally belong to grass family. Okay, so they have one cotyledon. Then here the cotyledon is called scutellum. Cotyledon will be called as scutellum. That means this is the cotyledon part which we will call scutellum. Okay, so then this is the scutellum is situated as at one end of the embryonal axis. Okay, for scutellum which is located at one end of embryonal axis. Okay, so on the other end of the embryonal axis, on the other end, radical will be placed. Radical and root cap, radical covered with the root caps are placed in the mass of cells or sheath of cells which is known as are covered on other end of the radical has other end of the embryonal axis has radical which are covered inside the root cap are present in a sheath known as coloriza, are present in the sheath known as that is coloriza. Okay, the one end of the on one end of the embryonal axis. So say for example this is the embryonal axis. Say for example I will write a dotted line here. So this is the embryonal axis. On the one end of the axis cotyledon will be there. So that cotyledon part is known as scutellum. Okay, cotyledon in monocot is called as scutellum. So other end of the embryonal axis. So this the dotted line is embryonal axis. Okay, one end of the embryonal axis has a scutellum, this is nothing but cotyledon, and the other end of the embryonal axis contains radical which are covered with the root cap. These radical and root cap are present in a mass of cells or sheath of cells, that is nothing but coloriza. Got it? So then I will write some more points here. I will just remove this. The portion where scutellum is attached is nothing but epicotyle region. Scutellum is attached is known as epicotyle. So that means, so this is the scutellum. Here the scutellum is attached. This whole portion is known as epicotyle. So epicotyle contains mainly two parts: coloptile and shoot apex. Okay. Epicotyle has shoot apex and coloptile region. Okay, so where coloptile and shoot apex are present, this portion, and where this whole region, that I will try to tell you. Okay, this whole region where coloptile and shoot apex are present is known as epicotyle. Okay, so then the coloptile is it has shoot apex and coloptile is a foliar like structure, or it is hollow foliar structure, hollow foliar like structure. Okay, this is the structure of monocot seed. Okay, so now in the next part we will try to understand the seed development of seed, which is occurring with the help of ovule, which means the development of ovule which will form the seed, and the last portion, development of ovary into fruit. So that portion we will try to understand in the next class. Okay, thank you.